Hey, what's up guys? My name is Jedith. A lot of you have been asking me if I think we're going to be okay without Weakauras packs, because obviously I put out my Havoc and Vengeance Weakauras packs that we really put a lot of work into designing and crafting over the past few years. And now with Devourer coming out for Midnight and Blizzard going through the motions of actually removing Weakauras and add-ons from the game, where does that leave us with Devourer? So Blizzard is definitely not just going to leave us hanging. They have actually implemented this new thing called the Cooldown Manager, and there's a lot of customization that you can actually do with it. So today we'll look at how you can customize it for yourself, how you can rearrange it, add, remove abilities from it, and we'll actually dive into the brand new features that they've added in this newest alpha build where we can add audio cues and text to speech. I know a lot of you might be thinking, will this be enough? And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have your answer to that question. Listen, I get that putting in time to learn something can be boring. No one loves reading pages upon pages of documents only to realize at the end that you didn't absorb any of it and you have to start back at the beginning. We all know the best way to learn is to do. So what if you gamified the process and turned it into an MMO? Honing the skill of back-end development has never been easier, and hey, this is a great way to start down the path of a stable career. Programmers have an amazing earning potential. According to Stack Overflow, the median salary of back-end developers in the US in 2023 was over $100,000. You'll learn back-end web development from start to finish in the Python and Go programming languages. Now, when I said this was an MMO, I meant it. You'll learn experience, levels, achievements, and complete quests to compete on global leaderboards. There's even bi-monthly boss fights where the community rallies together and gains bonus experience for each lesson completed during the event. It's like a real video game. All of the content is free to read and watch in guest mode. However, you can choose to unlock all of the interactive features like hands-on coding, AI assistance, progress tracking, and game elements. Boot.dev never wants their students to feel like they aren't getting their money's worth. So they're offering a 30-day, no questions asked refund policy, and a free demo of every course and its interactive features. So go to boot.dev, the link will be down in the description of this video, and use my code to get 25% off your entire first year if you choose the annual plan. Again, just make sure you use my code and you will get 25% off your entire order. All right, so I'm on the alpha here on my Devourer Demon Hunter, who is incredibly bald at the moment for some reason, and he has untextured Void Elf tendrils. Anyways, we're here in a dungeon, in a follower dungeon, because Silver Moon is just incredibly laggy right now, and I couldn't do anything to show you guys how this actually works. So we're in a follower dungeon, and this is actually going to be all right because I can show you what this looks like in combat. So what you see here in the middle under my character is the cooldown manager. So the way that you edit this is you press escape, go to edit mode, and then click on any of these three bars here. You have your tracked buffs, your essential cooldowns, and your utility cooldowns. You can click on any of them and then go to advanced cooldown settings. And now it's going to bring up this window. This is where you edit everything. So you have three categories here. You have essential cooldowns. This is going to be your big row here in the middle. And this will automatically adjust based on whatever talents you have, whatever build you're playing, or your spec. The necessary abilities will get put into this bar. So if I were to talent out of the hunt, that would go away. That would no longer be in essential cooldowns. And because I'm going down the left side of the tree, Void Blade is actually part of my rotation. So in this case, we want to have Void Blade in the essential cooldowns bar. Then underneath it, the bottom row, you have your utility cooldowns, and this is honestly laid out exactly like most Weakauras packs are. You have your rotational abilities as the biggest main thing in the middle. Then right underneath it, you have your utility. And as you can see, we have a bunch of abilities in here that are lit up and some that are desaturated. When they're desaturated, that means you don't have that talent, you can't use them. So currently I'm not spec'd into Darkness and I'm not spec'd into Sigil of Misery, so I don't have access to those abilities. So they are grayed out in this section. Now let's say I wanted to remove one of these from the bar. I didn't want to see it there. Say I didn't want to see Sunder. So this is a talented ability, but let's say I wanted to get rid of it anyways. I would just click on it and drag it down to the not displayed section. And now that ability will no longer be on my bottom bar. And if I want to put it back, I can drag it from not displayed back up into utility cooldowns. And there it is. So the same thing can be done with essential cooldowns. Again, just drag it away. You could even put something from essential cooldowns into utility cooldowns. So now I moved the hunt down to utility. Now let's say you wanted to rearrange them. You want to put them in a different order. It's as easy as you might think. You just grab one of them, drag it. Say I want to put the hunt as the Very far left ability. Drag and drop it. It's now in the front on the very left, and this is the first ability in the row. So let's put the hunt back where I took it from. So these are your abilities. Now the top bar here, this is where your buffs are tracked. So we can click on the tab on the right-hand side here. We go from the spells tab down to the buffs tab. And again, we have 3 sections here. We have tracked buffs. This will be essentially the aura bar above your abilities. And this is where buffs will land as you get them. And as they're on your character, you'll see them here. You also have tracked bars. This is another way for you to track different cooldowns. So you'll see it as a bar that goes from right to left. And then the bottom section is not displayed. So let's say I wanted to move final hour to tracked bars. It would look like this. It would say final hour with the icon, and the duration of the buff would move from right to left. So let's take final hour out of tracked bars. And just the way that Devourer is set up, there actually isn't anything we need to track in those tracked bars. So there's nothing that we should really put there right now. So I'll pull this pack right in front of me and we can take a look at the cooldown manager as we're in combat. And you'll see some things light up. You'll see other things happen. And this will give you a sense of what it's looking like when you're actually in combat. So you can see I used Void Blade. It turned into Hungering Slash. That is reflected in the cooldown manager. You can press the hunt. I'll put that on cooldown and give me Hungering Slash again. It's lit up. That means I should press it. And as I press Reap, it goes down to 1 charge and it tells me how long is on the refresh for the next charge. And we're also looking at Void Metamorphosis right in the middle. It says we have 36 souls going towards actually being able to press that button. Now to show you the aura bar, we generate some souls here. So this displays how many souls are on the ground. It currently says I have 5 souls. So if I press Reap, it'll suck up those souls. And that buff goes down to 2. So this is a great way to just track how many soul fragments are on the ground for you to pick up at any given time. It's also tracking Voidfall, which is from the Annihilator hero talent tree. So now you've seen the basic functionality. Now let's take a look at the audio cues. So to add an audio cue to an ability, you right-click on that ability and go to New Alert. Now this allows you to select what type of alert you want. At the moment, all we have is sound. That's all we can select, but there will be other things like glows, highlights, and other various ways you can display alerts. And then the next dropdown is when you want the alert to happen. So when this ability is available, when it's about to pandemic, when it's on cooldown, or when you've gained a charge. So for Void Ray, we're going to say available. And then you get to pick your sound alert. So to my surprise, Blizzard actually put a lot of different sounds in here. I was expecting maybe a short list of 5 or 6, but we actually have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 folders of about 12 each for each folder. There's a lot to choose from. I can show you a few of them. They're actually a little unique in how they sound. It will take some getting used to because a lot of us are just used to the DBM and bigwigs, bings and bongs, beeps and boops. These are a little different. So there are some sounds from Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3 if you've played those games in the past. There are devices like boat horns, air horns, bike horns, cash register. I'll show you the cash register and what that sounds like. Right? It's a basic cash register. Sounds pretty good. Now, say we've selected the cash register and we don't like that sound. We want to select something else. We right click on it, put our mouse over the alert we just added, and you'll see a delete alert option and edit alert. We would click on edit alert and we're back here where we can select something different. So this time, let's select the Anvil Strike. And if we want to preview it, again, we right click on the ability, click on Anvil Strike, and that's what it sounds like. There's a lot of different options in here to play with. There's some animals, cat, chicken, cow, knoll, goat, lion, panther, rattlesnake, sheep, wolf. A lot of them sound like the animals, but not quite. Like, I'll show you what the goat sounds like. This one caught me by surprise. It sounds like a dying child, or maybe that is just what goats sound like. I'm not too sure. So now whenever Void Ray is able to be used, whenever I've accumulated 100 Fury, that sound will happen and it will alert me that the ability is ready to be pressed. So that's a very basic way of doing it. Something else that we can do is we go to our utility cooldowns and we have this ability called Soul Immolation. With the talent I've selected, we have 2 charges of it. So what we can do is we can set up an audio alert to play whenever we gain a charge of Soul Immolation because we have 2 charges. So whenever one refreshes, it'll play this sound. So the one that I set up for this is Synth High. And again, you'll have to play with this yourself and find which ones you like, which ones are going to stand out to you and your ear. But this is what I've selected for Soul Immolation. kind of an odd sound, but it does stand out. So I'll show you what that looks like in practice. You can see on my cooldown manager, I have 2 charges of soul immolation, so I'll use one. And one thing to notice with this is when you actually use soul immolation, it shows you the duration of the buff first while it's on you, and then it goes to the recharge of the charge. So in 10 seconds here, we should hear a sound. It's at 5 now, and here it comes. Perfect. So it's working. Now, of course, this is really similar to something that I set up in a weak aura for Havoc, which was an audio alert for Immolation Aura. Whenever we'd get a free recharge of Immolation Aura through a fire inside, it would play a cash register sound. Well, we can kind of replicate that by going to Devices, Cash Register, Apply, and that's what it sounds like. Again, a slightly different sound than what we're used to, but it is fairly close. So this is what we're working with at the moment when it comes to the cooldown manager. Do I think it's enough? Absolutely. For Devourer and probably even for Havoc, this is more than enough. It does everything we need it to do. There will be some more customization options added to it where we can add, certain glows to things or maybe make things turn a different color. As it currently stands, this is more than enough. This is going to be great for Devourer because there isn't that much to track. I do understand that there probably are some classes and specs out there that have a little bit more intricacy to the way that their spec plays and the different things they need to track, but Blizzard is fully aware of those specs and they want everything to work with the cooldown manager as best as possible. So I would imagine anything that needs to be added to the cooldown manager will more than likely be added, so every spec is accommodated accordingly. So if you've used my Havoc or Vengeance Weakauras pack in the past in previous expansions, I will be setting up my own version of this cooldown manager. I'll have setups for Havoc and Devourer and of course Vengeance with audio cues that I've set up with all the little ins and outs, and they are going to be shareable. So if we click on the drop down here at the bottom of the cooldown settings window, it's just like talents. So we can import layouts, we can copy to clipboard, we can create and save new versions. So of course I will be able to create something for you guys and share it with you when the time comes, which hopefully will have all of these functions packed into the cooldown manager and ready to go in the beta at the very earliest, but we'll definitely have something ready for you guys going into the new expansion so you're not hopping in completely blind. So how does this look to you? Are you guys satisfied with what you're seeing here? Are there any other features that you'd like to see added to the cooldown manager? If there are, let me know down in the comments, and that feedback will be seen by Blizzard devs. They have eyes everywhere, they're always watching, and if there is something that you feel would be really beneficial to get into this cooldown manager, we can probably make it happen. So let us know down in the comments. If you like this video, give it a like, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you want to see more Devourer content, check out the rest of the videos in this playlist. You can scroll down and see it on the right-hand side of the webpage that you're on, or you can just go to my YouTube channel and find them all there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.